and it has like little pockets down here too. This is basically like where the roots are. They're all connected, but whenever you're transplanting something, you always want to like squeeze it just so that it wouldn't be all compressed. Just squeeze it on like all four sides, and it should be able to come out. Yeah. Then you plant it.
LEJ's mission is to promote ecological health as well as environmental stewardship and community development right here in southeastern San Francisco. And we do that through urban greening, ecological literacy, community-based stewardship of our environment, as well as workforce development that directly supports and engages local residents, securing a healthy future for all of us.
Are you guys all ready to weed?
Do it.
Wonderful, thank you. The first thing we're going to do is grab some supplies from over here, and then we'll hike out to the site.
So we grow California native plants and plant them out in public parks in southeast San Francisco. We hold stewardship events where volunteers can come and put their hands on the land and really contribute and give back to the community and provide habitat not only for people but for wildlife to flourish. We employ urban greening as a major strategy in doing that, and what that means is to work within an urban setting to create systems that are sustainable, that close the resource circle, rather than continuing to consume resources and dispel waste. We create systems that cycle resources. So a classic example of that is nature itself. Nature is always cycling resources, and so we install habitat restoration sites in parks around southeast San Francisco where that cycle is closed and functioning.
Sometimes we work at the nursery, which are on all of these plants really, and before we bring them out here, we just grow them at the nursery and then we come and bring them out to parks. Sometimes we go to parks and we weed like dry grass, and yeah, what we're doing today is transplanting. So we take them out of here and put them in the ground.
Yeah, see all those roots? All that stuff is roots. Yeah. Touch them. Okay, so what we're going to do is dig your fingers in there and break it up. Nice, nice, nice. Into the pot or into the hole.
Oh, it's nice.
It is.
And we do a lot of this work through community stewardship, and that means involving people, involving the local community in these initiatives, giving people an opportunity to do work that feels good, that serves the community and brings us closer to each other in the process. And we're redefining what a city is through those systems. A city doesn't have to be concrete and cars. It can be a wildlife and, you know, listening to that wildlife.
Environmental groups say the neighborhood's children have 3 times the national asthma rate, and adults have twice as much cancer as the rest of the Bay Area. Many blame Lennar, the company cleaning up the nearby shipyard. But these folks say the power company is also to blame.
Clean up!
PG&E!
Here it goes!
LEJ's early work was tied and connected to the Navy's leaving this facility and a bunch of toxic sites, you know, and leaving the community basically besieged with all of its waste, and it's basically irresponsible environmental legacy. We were very interested in decommissioning the PG&E power plant that was at the end of Evans Street. The asthma rates in the Bayview were, you know, 4 times what they were anyplace else in the city, and so LEJ's work was really about drawing those connections between sort of environmental situations and conditions that people were living in and the historical inequities that led to those processes.
and then also like write the numbers. So I go 1, and then that's a 4, and then that's a 2.
Perfect.
And so that we can identify like what kinds of chemicals or like pollutants they might be using that'll be concerning for us.
It's been said that citizen science is the new wave of activism. And right now, our organization is conducting a community-based citizen science project in partnership with many others. The community mapping project that currently LEJ is a part of seeks to really give a broad and comprehensive understanding on what is the industrial makeup of our community adjacent to our residential housing, and where are these hidden hazards, and uncovering these hidden hazards in a way that seeks to reverse them, ensure that they don't happen again, and then really have some oversight about the future of operations, whether it be industrial or really what's going on in the neighborhood. How do we take this data that our young folks collected and distribute, inform, empower others? One of the platforms to do that is something that was homegrown right here. So the Environmental Justice Task Force is one arena, one platform, one soapbox. What was some of the takes from hitting the streets just right off the bat?
Well, just on the block that we went, that LEJ literally on, we have a concrete plant, not even being kept up with the environmental ordinances, like about the dust being all over the road. Somebody should be spraying it down with water at all times, and they didn't have the trucks were driving through and weren't driving through the water system that they had in order to keep the dust from tracking off of the tires.
Okay.
We've never been limited by the spatial realities or the material realities of the space that we deal in. We dream about the future and then find ways to accomplish that. The Eco Center was basically the dream of some kids from the community, and I think that's the beauty of the space. Chrissy Field had created this amazing site on the other side of San Francisco, but this side of the city has always been under-resourced. And so we had convened a number of local kids from the community, some of our LEJ youth, and they envisioned, they said, you know, we were talking about what should we do once the PG&E power plant is torn down. And they said we should build an environmental learning center. And so that became a dream, and a dream that took, I don't know, probably close to 13 or 14 years to become a reality, but that's ultimately what we were able to create here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm actually going to ask the rest of the LEJ youth who are here present today to come up here with me. And will you youth who stand here with me take this place and use it to teach others about what's going on in our community?
Yes, we will.
And together, will we share this building and take care of it?
Yes, we will.
Will you take this building and create a new day for the community?
Yes, we will.
A good friend of mine, George Lipsitz, who's a historian down at UC Berkeley, always talks about certain communities have the ability to conjure things up. And so I think about LEJ as doing that.
The work that we're doing with the plants is healing work. We're healing the land by growing the plants and planting the plants. And as we're healing the land, I think we're also healing each other.
The first thing that happened through the colonial endeavors right here to the First Nations of San Francisco, right here in the Ohlone homeland, was the disconnection between those people and their ways of life to the land. LEJ is restoring that connection. LEJ is ensuring that that timeless principle and value of being able to be close to the land and have that benefit of connecting with nature and supporting our natural surroundings, as at the same time supporting ourselves. So having the self-determination to create the future we all deserve.
It looks dope. Plants. They're lit. But yeah. So you want me to like plant it or something?